I ended up getting sick with Bell's palsy because I was eating too much stuff and using too many pre-workout formulas and protein powders and all that kind of inflammatory junk.
Oh, wow.
And so then I became more natural, so a naturopath healed the Bell's palsy because my face had stopped working for
Oh,
me.
you got the full like.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
At the age of 24, 25.
Oh no.
Yeah, and that then really got me onto the path of learning the truth about health because up until then I was seeing doctors and so on. I was still struggling with asthma my whole life.
I'm an asthmatic, dude.
Right, inflammation. That's all it is. Change your diet.
Well, it's interesting because I've improved it so much in the last couple of years where I changed my breathing to, have you heard of the Buteyko method? Like, it's basically only nose breathing.
Only nose, yeah.
Yeah, it's essentially where the simplest way of putting it is you should only ever breathe through your nose. So the only times that I now breathe through my mouth is if I'm speaking or if I'm singing. Otherwise, it's all nose breathing. And that has changed my health drastically.
Good, yeah.
But I need to improve my diet. But on this nose breathing thing, man, if you go down the rabbit hole if you haven't already, because I think you'll find it fascinating. It's basically the philosophy is never breathe through your mouth. There's these our nose is just designed for breathing. It somehow we get nitric oxide in our body. The hairs in our nose filter the air and cool the air. It transforms your health. And there's people where you tape your mouth at night with this mouth tape so that even if you don't do the nose breathing during the day, you get a full night's sleep only breathing through your nose, and it cures their snoring and all kinds of things that it helps. And it's a fascinating little hack that I don't think enough people know, because I'm really into these things, trying to figure out the truth about health.
Truth.
And trying to get to the bottom of it. And there's core money to be made in making someone breathe through their nose.
That's right.
There's a few products you can sell, but the big pharma can't make any money off that. It's like fasting. You can't make any money off people not buying something.
No.
These things that are true, there's no coincidence that they're the simplest, and they quite often cost nothing.
It costs nothing, I know.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show, our whole economy, not all of it, but a big chunk of the economy, I call it the unconscious economy.
Yeah.
It's just feeding more unhealthiness, more pain and suffering, more destruction of ourselves and the planet and everything around it. And I feel like this whole entire system just needs to collapse and be rebuilt with a more conscious kind of base to it, where we're not capitalizing on unhealthiness, on destroying ourselves, destroying our health, destroying each other through wars and everything. Oh, yeah,
it's a mess, dude.
Yeah,
it is a huge mess, and I think it is collapsing slowly but surely. You look at something that I've found quite concerning and depressing is that physically we're in the most technologically advanced and developed time that we've ever been in throughout known history, depending on what you're into. But
exactly.
I've been down those rabbit holes as well, bro, and they're pretty wild. But anyway, that's we'll put the tinfoil hat on for that one, and we'll do another one. But how the quality of living is the best it's ever been, but yet people's mental health, I could be wrong about this, but it seems as though it's getting to the point where it's the worst it's ever been.
I think you're right, and I think our physical health too, for the masses, is probably the worst it's ever been too.
Yeah.
Because of the foods. Listen, to me, food is only one thing. Food is medicine. We have two different types of food in this day and age. We have medicine food, and we have poison food. And every time I go out, if I go out and go out with friends, they shout me a meal or whatever, it's 9 times out of 10, it's poison.
Sure.
Because of the oils that things are cooked in, because of the added chemicals and sugars and all this crap.
What's your eating and your diet philosophy? What are the truths that you know that you've tested out on
really
yourself?
simple. Eat real food. Eat
Right.
real unprocessed food that comes from the earth.
Right.
And so I'm living on a few vegetables, not many vegetables, but a few, mainly potatoes, seafood, meat, eggs. I eat a lot of eggs. I stay away from processed foods. Cooking, I'll only cook with either butter or ghee, usually butter, and coconut oil. That's the only two oils I'll cook with.
Yep.
I will not touch vegetable, canola, any seed oils, no matter what they say. They're terrible inflammation. Yep. Once I took them out, I really healed because I feel like they really interrupted my digestive system. They cause bloating and, of course, alcohol as well. That's really bad for our digestive system.
Are you eating much sugar?
The only sugar I have is natural sugar in a piece of fruit. Okay. I don't have any processed sugar at all. I don't buy it. I don't ever. It's like,
do you have anything like honey or anything like that?
I have honey. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I buy honey. I am looking for sugar bag honey at the moment, which is a bush tucker up here. So the native bees, which are stingless, they're tiny little black bees. They produce a really sweet honey. So I've been looking for their hives at the moment. I haven't found any. But I stay away from sugars at all costs because I found that the processed sugars were probably the number one cause of my asthma attacks.
Really?
Yeah.
The sugar.
Yeah, the sugar.
Because, it's interesting, dude. I've found that since doing the breathing thing, I notice one of the things that they taught me that I learned about with this Buteyko method is to observe when I'm having a hard time and when I'm feeling good with my breathing, because there's a little trick that they would give you, like the I've cut down my medication use by like 95%.
Awesome.
I almost never have it. I have a Ventolin with me very, very rarely.
Emergencies and that.
Yeah, but there's what I do now in order to, instead of taking a Ventolin, if I'm feeling really tight and it's not going away, is you exhale out the nose and then you hold for 10 seconds and then breathe calmly through the nose. So you feel what they call a bit of air hunger. And you do that maybe 3 times, and more often than not, it goes away. That becomes like a Ventolin, and it's been amazing, dude. But the thing that's really interesting is I notice now after doing this and consciously trying to, those 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks when I was stopping myself from breathing out my mouth and only breathing through my nose, especially when working out, I became so aware of my breathing, which is something I'd never really been that aware of. And I would notice how when I would have a big meal, if I would have alcohol or if I'd overeat or if I'd have, something with a lot of sugar or processed food, I'd feel, especially with alcohol, I'd feel like I'd be getting asthma.
Yeah.
And it would come.
What kind of alcohol were you drinking? Was it like stuff with sugar in it, do you reckon? Or
probably.
Alcohol?
Yeah. I mean, it's, I'm a pretty, like a cocktail, like a tequila cocktail or something. So there'd be sugar syrups and stuff in that. Like, I don't really drink much. I drink socially, and that's about it. And that's not very often these days. But I notice it now. It really gets me, and I'm able to, what we're talking about before, tapping into going, I'm listening to what's happening and going, oh, that's because of what I like. I'm going, oh, why have I got asthma right now? Oh, it's because I'm full. I ate junk. Drank alcohol. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah. I feel like most people, because we're not really taught how to listen to our bodies in school. We're not taught any of that stuff. No. Everything we're taught is very external. I feel like most people don't really want to take responsibility for their own health because it comes down to one thing: discipline. It's a lot easier to go to the doctor, get bulk billed, and then take a pill, take whatever, some kind of medication, and then be like, oh, I can just keep eating all this junk. I don't need to change anything.
Yeah.
And most people don't want to take the harder path, which is clean up the diet, train a little bit more if they're not training at all, maybe, and change things up because they're addicted to the sugar, they're addicted to whatever it is.
But that's a big point. Yeah, because there is a withdrawal period. You literally have to go through a very uncomfortable amount of time, like coming off caffeine, coming off especially sugar and processed food. These like intensely satiating foods. To give that up, that's painful.
They make us feel good.
Yeah,
Everyone
you
wants
get this.
to feel good.
Yeah, man.
Once you do get off them, and you still start tapping into your real energy that you get from eating healthy, moving the body, you get to the point where I'm at now, and that is, I feel good. I can go to a doof, I can go to a party, I can go there completely straight, dance, spin my fire stick, talk to people all night long, get a good night's sleep, and I feel so good that if someone goes, "Hey, do you want to take this?" I'm like, "I'm good, thanks. I feel good already."
Yeah,
So
right.
it really is like, it's really worth. And I'm not against. I don't frown upon anyone that does stuff because I've been there myself. But I think ultimately the goal is to be able to feel good without anything, or just very, very, just make a conscious decision that I'm going to do it now and then.
Yeah, it's inspiring, man. It is. I've had a bit of a routine that I've planned out that I haven't been fulfilling because I want to feel better in my body. I want to not be tired. I want to work out more. I want to not get sick as often as I do. When you got a little kid around the house, it's hard not to get sick. I saw this meme the other day that said, I used to think I had a really strong immune system, but then I realized I was just good at not letting someone sneeze directly into my mouth. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, I've got this, this little
hanging
out with other kids, putting grubby hands on things, and that's part of how it goes. Her immune system has to cop everything in order for it to learn how to manage things. But I hadn't really considered just how much as a parent of a toddler you get sick. Like this year, fuck man, it's been rough. Me and my wife have just been hammered.
Sorry, bro.
Oh, dude, but don't feel too sorry for me because part of it is exactly what you're saying. I could be more disciplined with the edible choices that I am making, and I know for a fact. And chatting with you is reiterating this, but I know these rules that you are talking about, and you're a great example of how true they are. Like how's your health?
As a health, it's amazing. I haven't been sick for a very long time. I haven't seen the doctor, which is probably
like not even a cold, or do you get congested or snotty or anything, or like a cough or anything?
Most of the time, I'm in really warm environments, so it just doesn't happen. I don't get sick, really. I did, whenever I got to Cairns, I did, like probably 5 months ago, I did have neck pain, had some neck pain, and it was really annoying me in that. And I went and saw a Chinese herbalist and did some acupuncture on me. I'll always take the natural path. Acupuncture, I love it, very rarely I need it. Most of the time I can heal my own body.
Yeah.
And he gave me some herbs and that, and I mixed them up. And he said to me that I had a cold in my neck. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I took these herbs for 3 days, and it came out of my body. And I was pretty much had a headache and bedridden for a couple of days. Apart from that, probably years before that.
Wow.
I don't really get sick. Good for you,
man.
And I put it down to digestion.
Yes.
Like your stomach really uses your second brain. And I also put it down to this, which really goes against our mainstream knowledge about the sun. I spend so much time in full sunlight.
Right.
And I drink plenty of water. And I don't really burn. Like I might go a little bit sun-kissed, but it goes straight brown thanks to my wog skin. And then and I noticed that the more time I spend in the sun, the better my digestion has gotten.
Wow.
And digestion's never been better. And I believe once your gut is fully healed, and I believe my gut's fully healed right now, that you don't get sick. You don't get really anything.